So John wanted me to show you the heating plants that we have. Since we're in Arizona, a lot of plants don't enjoy the sun, direct sun, or not for that many hours, but we have some containers growing. We have strawberries. They really like, you know, in normal places they would like to be in the sun, but since we have really harsh sun, they're hiding here under the tree, and they really like it, and they're getting big. And then we have some arugula, which is probably the last few days I will have it, because even though it will grow, it's gonna taste really nasty with the heat. Then we have some spearmint, and then we have some poblanos and onions. And that one is my favorite in the whole world, is epazote. You put it with cheese quesadillas, it's really flavorful. And then over here we have some Roma tomatoes growing really good. See, when we had it out there, it was probably as small as that one, but since we hide it, it's doing real good. And in fact, I think it's was it the Roma or the Punta in a flower? But somebody's already starting with his flowers, which means that they're gonna become tomatoes once the bees or a friendly brush comes around and starts on them. But we have lots of cherry tomatoes that love being here, and it's our first try, so we're gonna give it to a lot of our friends so they can have their own cherry tomatoes. And then we have the serranos, which are doing really good over here in the shade too. And peppers are supposed to love the sun, but not Arizona sun, that's too harsh. So this is the hidden place, and it's not the most beautiful, but the plants love it over here under the tree, which is, this is a lovely tree that is giving us the shade. And then we have a little project for when the tomatoes get a little bigger. We're gonna do in this improvise all bookcase that is reinforced over there, and we're gonna put a cardboard in the walls. And then this is gonna be a good bed for a couple of tomato plants, perhaps some cherries. And then we'll put the little cones there so that they have their own casings. And the reason why we did it there, even though we have a little raised cement bed, is because we don't want to disturb the roots of this friendly tree. He's giving us so much shade, we don't want to disturb his roots. And he has a lot of leaves there already, which is kind of the beginnings of compost. So we're gonna add to it, just like in a lasagna bed. We're gonna have some compost there, and then add some soil, and we will be golden. And I think John showed you this ones already with the cilantro and lots of marigolds everywhere and onions and stuff. But we also have the other raised bed and the plastic bin that once the colors stop growing and the spinach, then we'll let those zucchinis take over. See those two in the corner? So they'll be the owners of this bed for the rest of the summer. So we're kind of getting prepared for that. And the last thing is we also covered this bed with a little bit of hay to let the humidity stay where it belongs with the plants. And on this one we have a lot of radishes still that are growing. You might not see them because of the hay, but they are there and they will show themselves. And we have some carrots yet to taste over here in this plastic container. And yes, some radishes right there. But once those carrots leave, they're probably gonna give some room for a cucumber or something that it doesn't take a lot of. And see, the bees are coming to see what can I help with. So we have a couple of bees right there. All right, people. You know a lot more about this garden. Bye-bye. Alright. The project is called Lasagna Garden, and that means that we started a compost inside. We didn't break down the dirt too much, and we just started to do all the layers of green and browns, one and then the other. Of course, browns first, greens, browns, and then we planted the stuff we wanted. In this case, lots of zucchini, and they're spreading about 4 feet down. And we also have a couple of pea and lots of marigolds because they say they're good for the dirt. And then to top it off, we put a lot of hay, and we also put a cantaloupe and a watermelon. And so there's a lot of newspapers and branches and decomposing stuff on the bottom layers. And then we added just a little bit of topsoil so that we could use it right away. And we're gonna cover it with this mesh first so that the doggies don't get on it, because they like to lay on fresh ground because it feels colder. But also to have, once the zucchinis or the watermelons or the melons start growing, they can hang to this mesh and they can grab something to go into. We could also add something to the back wall to hold them in place, but we shall see. And so the hay is gonna keep it moist. It's gonna keep the water there. We're in the desert, so we wanna save on water. And also it's gonna slow release. Baby, no, outside. See, that's one of example of why we put the mesh. It slow release some good stuff for the microorganisms on the soil. And that's it.
What's the difference between the green and the brown?
Well, the green is everything that is coming right from the kitchen, that is like the coffee grounds or the vegetables that are spoiling. And the browns are stuff that is already dried out, like the hay or newspapers or branches, even cardboard. But
Prawns that are already dead. Concrete prawns that are dead.
all the, leaves can be green when they're cut right away, but then when they dried out, then they're brown. And we have a couple of bees excited to be around here already. All right.
Did you get Daisy? Daisy's excited.
Just likes to be involved.
She's not laying in the goat heads. She's smart.
Well, Zucker was laying right on that spot before looking through the gate. What's going on? Why should I pee on? Anyways, see you later, John. So John wanted me to show you the heating